Welcome to the Backpacking Delicious podcast. With us today is a man who has been on the Doomsday Prepper TV show, a survival expert, a YouTube comedian, a man that knows how to use a knife without cutting himself. Granite's Gordon Crum. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Honestly, that was a huge accolades, but I am honored to be with Carl, the man, Drioli. So it's just great to be.
Yeah, man.
It's great to be here.
We're kind of having you back. You were on our show briefly from the Outdoor Retailer show. We met there, and I could just tell him like this is a guy we have to have on the show. So this is an honor for us to. Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned when I met you, you mentioned I don't even know how that came up, but you mentioned that you were on this Doomsday Prepper TV show, and I've watched a couple episodes. So I went back to that. I think was it like season 2, episode 13? Is that right?
That's right. It's the second half of season 2, episode 13. Right. My friend Jeff and I went down there and shot one of their episodes with them. Yeah.
for them.
With them.
We recorded for them and we let them know how to run it.
That's right.
Okay. I know that you were kind of, like there was like the main character was your buddy and you were like, kind of like the helper guy. But what was, just real quick, just so people can get a sense of like some of your experience with in the prepping world. So what was that? Like, what was the thing you were doing there?
So we went down to the middle of Kansas to our missile base to record that episode. And yes, it is a missile base. We had at one time purchased a decommissioned Cold War era nuclear missile silo, an Atlas F nuclear missile silo. And for just for the sake of fixing it up and having fun with it. So
how much do missile silos cost these days?
It's a hot market, let me tell you. They range in price from on the inexpensive side, maybe a few $100,000 up to millions of dollars. Because they're gigantic. So our particular site, I was co-owner with Jeff in that, and it was full of water when we got it. Like completely full.
Okay.
Is 40,000 square feet underground.
Right.
186 feet deep. And it was full of about 2 million gallons of water.
Wow.
So we had...
Is that from just like groundwater, or was it like broken pipes, or how did that work?
So those sites are made as a continuous pour. The concrete is 25 feet thick in some areas. It's epoxy hardened concrete with over 400 tons of rebar. So there's no cracks in the entire facility, not even one crack or a seam. So all of that water came from all the ventilation shafts over the years, 50 years of rainwater coming in. Because when the Army Corps of Engineers shut those things down in the 50s after they were decommissioned, they left all the vents open. And these vents are like 6 feet in diameter. So a lot of rainwater over the years. So we got
50 years of standing water. Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet. But 50 years of standing water. Let's say you're backpacking in that area. Would you filter that water?
100%. Let me tell you, because the Army Corps of Engineers gives us a report on what's in the groundwater, their water table around the area, and there is a ton of like tetrachloride or whatever they use to wash the rockets down with, is all still in the water table in the area. So you're gonna grow some extra limbs if you drink that stuff.
Okay, so there's rocket soap in the water, is what you're saying.
Rocket soap, indeed. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to check out that episode, I mean, the TV show itself is like highly interesting. I always thought of it as here are the people who they're prepping, but they're also like rooting for an apocalypse because that's what they've been prepping for. Is that right?
100%. Yeah, and that's not us at all. Like, we were definitely probably an outlier to all this. Like, that's not who we were. That's not who we are. We're not extreme like that. So the producers actually had a hard time getting us to say what they wanted us to say, and they ended up getting us to say some things that we didn't really want to say, and they edited it together in a kind of an awkward way. It's really ridiculous to watch. But
that's what we're doing today. Is actually I'm editing this podcast very aggressively, so I'll string some things together awkwardly.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. Well, you can. I mean, if you want. So knowing that backstory, kind of knowing that caveat, I guess you can check it out.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 13. I think it's available on a few different streaming services. But all that to say that you're going to be more prepped, so to speak, for this episode than I am. So I'm kind of the I don't know. I'm the novice when we're talking about like legit plans for escaping the zombie apocalypse while backpacking.
Oh,
so
yes. Yeah.
just keep that in mind. All right.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get to it. What's your favorite kind of apocalypse?
Oh my gosh. My favorite.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I think that nuclear war is probably what's on everybody's top of mind. It's not my favorite though.
It can't be your favorite one.
No, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
That's pretty rough for everybody.
Yeah.
Like I think if there was going to be an apocalypse, that would be like the most manageable. Maybe like a meteor strike to the Earth.
Okay. The most manageable. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess like famine is pretty rough and stuff, but like meteor strike, you're dealing with a lot of weather changes, climate changes. Maybe we're thrown into like deep polar winter. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. But those don't sound good. Those don't sound fun. Really.
No, I don't think any apocalypse is like fun, but.
I got one. I got a good one.
Okay. Okay.
So I prefer one where like just the electricity goes out permanently. And then when that happens, so like nobody's dying necessarily immediately. So, you get the backup generators hopefully kicking in at the hospitals, but hopefully like nobody forms mobs. Like for whatever reason, people are like, you know what? I'm going to think through this rationally and I'm not going to start, grabbing my pitchfork and torch here. And then people realize, we don't really need the electricity or all this technology. We actually we're doing better. We're like more mentally healthy. And as a result, the death rate actually improves.
That's precious. That's you think so highly of humanity. It's wonderful.
It's optimistic apocalypse.
It really is. But you know what I love about that? What I love about that scenario is that it strikes at the core of like who I am as a survival type minded person. I like wilderness survival. I like practicing sustainability or subsistence living type practices, right? So like think about like 100 years ago, it wasn't called survival, it was called Tuesday. It was just what people did, and I think that that's some stuff that we could really like get back to. So that would put us in that situation.
Yeah, as long as people could just calm down.
There's someone that says that there's 9 days that separate us from total chaos, something like that. 9 meals, that's what it is. Someone once said that there's 9 meals that separate us from anarchy. And I think that's totally possible. I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
if you skipped 9 meals, I think
if you skip 9 meals, then you start getting ravenous and you start freaking out.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you store up the freeze dried meals is what you're saying.
Mountain House. No, just kidding.
Mountain House. Well, I talked to Mountain House and I said, are your two customers just basically, backpackers and Doomsday Preppers? And they're like, correct. That's it.
That's it. That's basically it. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a really scary world to think about living in if you're eating Mountain House meals, just Mountain House forever. That's terrifying. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the two there's like there's 3 skills that I think everyone should try to have in their back pocket for the apocalypse.
I don't even. I don't think I categorize that. I got gear. I've got location.
Yeah.
I even have luxury items. Okay, so what are the skills? What do you got?
So I think if people know these 3 things, that they will have a really good chance. If you learn how to forage plants specifically, what's growing in your area that you can eat? Because I think a lot of people have this fantasy that they're going to if the world starts to fall apart, they're going to go out and hunt. And that's not always easy, especially if you're not like a hunter, right? It's very hard to get enough calories to live off of. So you have to really supplement that. So learning how to forage, and then learning about radios, good radios, UHF, VHF radios, to be able to communicate, what it takes to communicate in that kind of a situation when there is no cell phone, potentially. That's a good skill. And third is just basically have a good supply of snacks around the house. So because if let's say because like I get hangry, right? You got to have like a taper off thing. Like if you just cold turkey go into an apocalyptic scenario without having snacks, that's not going to be good for your psyche.
Right.
And also you can barter with snacks, you know?
Right.
Like potentially.
I guess I imagine people more trying to invade my house and grabbing my snacks. That's what I anticipate.
Yeah.
That's,
I hope not.
Anyway, but
yeah.
So the skill is to have snacks, like snack storage, or how to like trying to get good snacks, maybe.
Yeah, maybe just planning ahead. Maybe it's more of a habit. Okay. Maybe it's a good survival habit. Yeah, having good snacks around the house. It's kind of funny, but it's also sort of true. I mean, if you there's a lot of like sci-fi literature and like apocalyptic literature, novels and stuff like that that are based around having like that commodity, like a can of Coke, or like Zombieland, the Twinkies in Zombieland. You know, like people would do anything for a Twinkie. So I don't know. There's something to it. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's get to this because you're diving in and you got some good stuff, and I think we can apply that to our scenario. So
cool.
Okay, so just full backstory. Last year, I have a major freeway that goes through my town. There's lots of exit points to my town, but there's one major freeway, I-25, and there was a gas tanker that crashed and spilled gas across town. Not across town, across the interstate. Okay.
Oh man.
So they shut the interstate down before I was able to go to work. And on that day, I realized if there was some sort of just panic or something, I'm not getting out of town. I couldn't get out. There's so many exit points and I couldn't escape. Like everything was jammed up and nothing. It wasn't like people were creeping along. Like they literally weren't moving. And so I thought, okay, if something goes down all of a sudden, then it's just going to be jam-packed. So I thought, here's my scenario, is that we get a 5-hour heads up that the zombie apocalypse is coming. So whether that's, one of the folks that's part of the B&B family out there or one people that are subscribed to Granite, like they're like, we're connected and zombies are coming. So we can leave civilization until things blow over, but you got 5 hours to do this. That's kind of the scenario. So
that's a good window. I feel like that's a really good window. Yeah.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
That's a heads up. And so,
yeah. So that's the scenario. But we're throwing this word zombie around.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned it as well. So let's go over some zombie stuff here. Okay. So first of all, what's your favorite kind of zombie? What do you like?
Oh man. I mean, I think there's probably a lot, right? There's like the genetic zombies that are like mutations, maybe. There's like ones that they're turned into zombies from radiation, right? In zombie lore. There's ones that are infected by parasites, like Ophiocordyceps unilateralis is the fungal thing with ants.
Yeah, the fungus one.
Yeah, zombie ants. Yeah, Ophiocordyceps. Right. So like that's. To me, that right there is probably like the most plausible to me, is like like some kind of a fungal or a parasitic infection that would create a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. So
but so that's the most plausible. But what's your favorite?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Oh man, like I think my favorite, it has to be like the I Am Legend zombies from the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith.
I haven't seen that one. Just full disclosure.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, that is an amazing movie. So they're very aggressive. They're very, very fast. There's a lot of rage. They're kind of triggered, kind of like zombies get triggered.
Yeah.
But I think that like the portrayal of that is the coolest one. Or like the World War Z zombies.
Yeah.
Those are similar, like very fast. They just are very aggressive. Now, like I wouldn't want to be in a world where those are present in a way.
Right. But that's our scenario. So
yeah.
So I picked one that I wouldn't mind as much, which is like the slow moving vegan zombies.
I love it.
Yeah, slow moving vegan.
That's an option.
Yeah. I just made it up. I don't know. I don't know if there's been movies with vegan zombies, but there should be.
Wonderful. That might be a very boring movie. Oh look, they're all eating.
They're getting into the garden.
Zombies took out my cucumbers again.
That's right. That's right. There's a worldwide shortage of cucumbers.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're gonna do. Pickles, like pickle businesses,
Yes.
just not surviving. Economic shutdown. All right.
Totally.
Okay. All right.
That's a good one.
I like that
They're
you
slow.
mentioned the plausible ones. Okay. The fungus. Okay. So we can talk about this real quick, because when you talk about World War Z, or this concept of, what's the one, the HBO show that has the fungus as well?
The Last
of Us. Yeah.
Yes.
Last of Us. Okay. So with all that stuff, I just wonder. So you have like a fungus taking over your body or whatever, but the body's still moving forward at a very fast rate without any sort of like energy source, right? They're not eating. They're just, it's just moving. And it seems to be like they can just, I don't know, especially in the movie, like there were zombies that were like stuck inside in like a building, and they were there for a long time. Sure. Wouldn't that eventually just die?
Yeah, you'd think so. It's hard to suspend disbelief when it comes to that, because entropy and the laws of physics and needing to have energy to survive. We all need energy to survive. So I think they kind of explain that away a little bit by saying like they go into a suspended state where their energy consumption is so low, and then they can wake up and expend a lot of energy. Still, it's a little hard to believe. Some of these universes that these things exist in, it's like years and years and years have gone by, and they're still out there, So,
I wonder if I wouldn't mind waking up and having a lot of energy. That doesn't work for me, but that'd be nice.
I have kids. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. They you don't usually wake up. They wake you up. It's not a natural
100%. No.
Okay. So we had to swing this back to backpacking. So we got the 5-hour head start. We got some sort of zombies that are coming our way.
Yeah.
Like you're in Wisconsin. I'm in Colorado. I'll start with you. Like, where would you go? Any sort of like location, strategies, distance from civilization? What's your thought?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I'm right on the outskirts of Milwaukee Metro, right? So like if I was downtown, then I would try to get out of town, because that would be just so awful to be stuck in a city, right? Mm-hmm. So I would try to get out of town, but I wouldn't necessarily go out to the county or out to the country. Like a lot of people kind of think like I'm going to go out to where there's farms, and I don't think I would do that. I grew up on a farm, and I know the neighbors that you have when you have farms, and really? They're pretty tough. They're pretty tough people. So I don't know if I would. Okay. I don't think you'd find a really welcoming environment to go out to the county. I would try to get back home to the suburbs. Like I live in the suburbs. Okay. And I think that's the plan. Like, I think a lot of people think that like they would bug out, and that's not a great plan long term. Like you don't have the infrastructure to survive long term. Better to just stay in your home and turtle up, board up the windows.
Really?
I think so. But like if I had
you're not backpacking. You're doing the opposite.
I guess for the sake of this experiment. Like
no. You can say what you're gonna say. You don't have to modify it.
I would ultimately stay home, but if I had to, at a certain point, like you'd have to leave. You'd have to go get something at some point, either to make a trade or to like go explore something, go try to find some more food, hunt, whatever. That's when I think it would become very practical to have like an idea of what you're gonna take with you and be prepared. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Interesting. So better to stay home and then branch out from there. Let things blow over. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm burning an hour at the grocery store. I'm burning one of the 5 hours. I think I'm going to go shopping. Ooh. I'm going to go.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to make my family go. I usually do a lot of the grocery shopping for our family, but I'm going to make them go and pull things off shelves. And I think that it's kind of like grocery wars, right? Where you're like, you're just trying to grab things as fast as possible. And everybody gets a cart, and then maybe everybody gets a second cart, and then although checking out might take some time. I don't think I'm using coupons. Yeah, maybe Costco. I think that we're gonna forego the coupons. I might not even type in my my code into the
maybe not. Right, there's no time.
I don't think it matters at that point. But Costco, the grocery store, they have some. Yeah, they get some good food and survival stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna burn an hour, and I was actually I wasn't gonna go to farmland. I was gonna go west into the mountain or like the foothills, I guess, of the Rocky Mountains, and I was gonna go as far away as possible to the end of the last dirt road, And then I don't know, I thought through this and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get out there and take my family out there. We'll have our shelter set up. We'll bring tools, all that stuff with us. We'll talk about the gear we're going to bring here in a little bit. But then I realized that across the street lives Grandma. And so I don't know how far Grandma's going to be able to go from the end of that dirt road.
Okay.
So extended family could be a challenge for some folks out there. But that's what I would do is I would go out there and I would load up as much stuff as I could. And I just don't want I don't want my house invaded. I don't want to feel like I'm just like waiting for somebody to. And what if it's somebody that's nice that's trying to like just knock, like, hey, do you guys need any extra food? Like you're just living in fear, right?
Yeah, I totally get that. Yep. Hopefully we have the world that you were thinking about earlier where it's more peaceful and your neighbors can like, I guess, if you have a family, you have infrastructure. Like my family, they're really young kids. It would be very hard to get them out in the woods. Actually, very hard to live out there. If they're older, things change. They have more skills. They can contribute to make sort of a small colony type thing happen.
For sure.
But I think that in a suburban setting where your neighbors and you maybe can band together and it's a colony situation, you have a little bit more of a chance at a more comfortable and safe existence than maybe going off on your own when you're the only person that can handle the woods. Like right now, I'm the only person in my family that could do that, so that would be very hard. But maybe when they're older. So I think it's different for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely try to bring friends with me, but I don't have a ton of friends locally because I live in a spot where everybody just keeps on moving away. So that's a bad strategy. So
yeah,
I could try to make friends. Like, hey, you want to be apocalypse friends while you're going out there, and then we could try to.
That's good. Everybody needs apocalypse friends.
Are you gonna join a mob? Because if you are, then probably not for me.
How do you broach that subject with somebody? Like, how do you ask them to be your apocalypse friend?
Like, when things hit the fan, how do you typically respond in life? And then if they're like, yeah I kind of panic and freak out, you're like, all right, we can't be friends.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of like vetting them with some.
Yeah. If you sense they have some things to offer, whether it's like skills or supplies, or whatever, you could be like, hey, here's what I have to offer. Like we could kind of team up if you're interesting, I suppose. Right.
Yes. I love that. You guys grow really good peppers. We knit blankets.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say more like I'm more of a conversationalist. Is that good in an apocalypse? Like I can offer good conversation.
Look, have you seen the show Survivor? That's it's an experiment, a human sociology experiment, right? So psychology experiment. I think that is a very good skill. Can't be discounted.
Is it valued though? Would the other person be like, "Ooh, conversationalist, come on down"? Probably
I can talk my way out of a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not.
I don't know. It's all on how you sell it, man. Yeah.
Okay. So you get some good feedback. But you mentioned, all right, so even if you hunker down, eventually you're going to kind of go out and barter. Maybe your area is not safe. Maybe the zombies have invaded your zone. So you've got to have some sort of a go bag. And aside from your typical backpacking gear, the stuff that we talk about kind of on our podcast, let's go through some of the gear that you'd have in your go bag that wouldn't be common things people bring backpacking. So what are your thoughts?
You're gonna love this. This is stuff that you've never thought of in your life. It's crazy, but I think it's really practical. Yeah, I really think it's practical. Okay, so first up, I would probably bring a drone with me.
That's not what I would guess at all.
I know, but there's a couple of reasons why.
Okay.
All right, so a drone. Right. Why? Yeah. Because for reconnaissance, like you put that thing up, you can kind of see the area. You can see if there's any hordes or herds. Are they hordes or herds of zombies? Right. So you put that up. You can see what's happening. You can see if other people are around. So it's a really good reconnaissance tool. But also, like, say you get in a little bit of a bind, you can strap like some spam to it, and you can use it as like a decoy. You can lead them away with it because it's noisy and it smells good. So
like just out of reach, right? So they could smell the spam.
Yes. And so you kind of over their head, and you kind of you fly them, you know, like a sheepdog. You just put them where you want them to go.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
And when you say them, are you talking about the zombies or people the mobs?
There's a lot of people that like spam where I live, so maybe both.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, maybe both.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow. So would you? I'm just trying to think through. So you have it like low flying, and then you're going the opposite direction. So you've led them away. Your drone has like a radius with your control. So then once they've been led away, just like fly it way high and bring it back. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yep. Bring it back. Yeah, so you can use it again. It's a tool. I'm telling you.
No, that's super smart. Except I'm wondering about like they burn through batteries like crazy.
They do.
So
they do.
So you have to. Is one of your items addressing that?
In my backpack, normally I carry a solar panel.
Okay.
So I would recharge it. I would have ability to recharge that. I have like a PCT gear, little solar panel, or I also have like a power bank that has a solar panel that flips out that I commonly use. Okay. So yeah, I would have a way to recharge it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So that's number one.
Yep.
That is,
Yep. Number one.
So far, so good.
Okay. Number two would be UHF VHF radio. So I'm a ham radio operator. I'm a licensed ham radio operator, and I'm a nerd like that.
Are you Granite on the ham radio?
No.
Okay. Who are you? What's your name?
My call sign is KD9TUV. It's not a. It's just the FCC call sign.
Okay.
KD9TV, and so I'm a technician level operator. Something I grew up with my dad. My dad was always a ham radio operator, so I love it because I can I have all my repeaters in the area that broadcast ham radio signals around. I've got them all programmed in here, and if I go somewhere, I program them in here so I can talk to people, or if I'm in an emergency situation, I can reach somebody without a cell phone. So,
I see.
Have
you ever talked to somebody on the ham radio, and then they're talking to maybe it's even your dad, and they're talking back to you from like the 1960s?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Like Frequency, that movie?
Yeah, that'd be so cool. I've never seen that, but I want to see it now.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the movie Frequency?
Amazing. No, I'm writing
it down. It's a ham radio movie where he's talking to like the younger version of his dad. Yeah, dude, that's a good movie, man. Yeah, check it out.
I'm excited.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, heck yeah, Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
Like ham radios, and that is like specifically a ham radio time travel movie.
That's so cool. I gotta check it out. Thank you for that.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. So I would definitely have this because although it's not you can't, it's not encrypted, it is obscure because not many people have it. Not many people necessarily know. There's so many frequencies it's obscure. So you could have a somewhat private conversation with somebody if you had a communication protocol worked out ahead of time. Like if you and your neighbors had like during this window, we're going to have a comm window between, the first 15 minutes of every day at 2:00.
Right.
In the movie I Am Legend, Will Smith does that. He goes and he sets up a radio at every single day, and he broadcasts out to see if anybody's listening to him.
Right.
So that's a very practical thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a radio on my list as well, but not.
Okay.
I had it on there without the knowledge that you have, so I think I've got to that'll be a skill that I would have to upgrade for sure. I did buy a bunch of old ham radio stuff at a garage sale a few years back. Dude, that stuff, it's like old, missing plugs, and it was still, it was still worth hundreds of dollars. It's like really
for sure.
big time stuff. So
there's a lot of really nerdy people that love that stuff out there for sure.
Okay.
But I mean, there's even really practical, you can send text messages through a radio like this too. Using a modem on your phone. So you type it in and then it gives you a modem sound, and then you can, you hook it up to your radio with an auxiliary cable and send it. It's called APRS. And so you can actually send GPS coordinates and text messages. Without any internet connection at all. So
do you bring that
really
backpacking?
Cool thing. I do. I usually always bring this with me because every hour I'll turn it on the first 10, 15 minutes just to listen to the national calling frequency 146.52 just to see if anybody's talking on it or if there's anybody that needs help. I mean, it's probably really rare, but it's happened.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You sound it would be fun to go backpacking with you and just dig through your backpack.
Yeah, I have a lot of weird stuff.
Do you ever have that? Somebody's like, hey, can I just go through your backpack right now? That's kind of weird.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Okay.
But I wouldn't think it's too weird. Depends on who's doing
it. That's true. All right. Number 3, what you got?
Okay, number 3. Let's see. I would bring tree climbing spikes. Okay. the spikes. You know what I'm talking about? The spikes that you strap onto the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
Told you.
I love this.
It's all really practical. Tree climbing spikes. Okay, so if you think about it, if you're getting mobbed by zombies, the thing you're going to need to do is get in a safe place. And from what I've seen on movies, which is very scientific, zombies don't climb trees very well. So, you get those tree spikes on, you can make an effort to get up a tree. Also, it's somewhat of a defense thing. You can kind of like kick them down with those spikes. Tree spikes.
Dual purpose. Yes,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, dude, your thought process. I'm loving this, man. Tree climbing spikes. I do not. That's not on my list. Spikes. FYI. Yeah.
Yep. Gotta have them. Gotta have them. And
okay.
Was it 4?
Yep.
Or is this 5?
We're on 4.
Okay. I would craft some lightweight body armor. So, because, the biting and the scratching that happens with zombies, I would probably, I would take some plastic bottles and make like a lorica segmentata, which is like the Roman army would wear those, or like the segmented armor things.
Yeah.
And then, so I would put like plastic, and then in between the layers, I put burlap. So it kind of reduces the noise. Right, so it's not loud, but it is lightweight and breathable. So it's a good ultralight piece of gear to have on your zombie backpacking trip. Yeah, for sure. So that if they get, it just kind of like takes away a little bit of that hazard of them biting you. Yeah.
Right. So good defense, but also very environmentally friendly. You're finding new ways to recycle plastic bottles.
Yes, it's sustainable. I think it's a wonderful thing. We should be making this right now, for sure.
Yeah, we should be making. When you said, I was thinking like motocross, like body armor, but that I mean that your joints are still kind of like exposed, to got to move around a little bit, but that's plastic. Those are like kind of plastic sheeting essentially, but not recycled.
Yeah, you
can
use both. You could definitely use both. There's the SCA is like an organization that does like medieval reenactment. So they'll make stuff like that out of leather, and then they'll put those hockey pads on, and then they'll beat each other with rattan, which is like bamboo swords and stuff like that. So like definitely, you could definitely use both. I think that's good.
Okay,
good idea.
All right.
Yeah,
body armor. That's not on my list.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
you have a 5th one?
I do. Yeah. So the 5th one would be like my defense weapon, which would be, or like my tool, my camp craft tool. So so this is a buck knives fro machete, and it's got like a really, really thick spine on it. It's very heavy. So I would bring this with me. This would be very practical, because I could use it as a knife, but I could also use it as a defense tool. So yeah.
Do you practice with it as a defense tool, like special moves, swinging it around?
That's for me to know and for you to wonder.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe.
Okay.
But maybe. No, it's there's lots of tools, like some machetes out there that would be very bad choices, because they have like saws on the back that would get stuck, on a zombie maybe. So you wouldn't want that. You got to and there's like baseball bats and hammers and stuff like that. Nah. Just get something that you're also going to use. Like you could use this to split firewood. It's a really heavy spine on it. You can use it to process firewood, and
multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose. Yeah.
So you mentioned some things that I did think through a little bit, but I think you're starting ahead of me in some ways. So for example, like I don't bring a solar panel backpacking. So that was one of my 5 items, a solar panel.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
For what you mentioned. And then then I had the radio on my list.
Okay. Yeah.
I just had the word weapon down. Yours was very specific, and I don't know. I'd have to think through which weapon I would bring. But something
comes to mind?
Sustainable. Well, I think most people want to bring a gun, but you'd have to bring a gun with a ton of ammunition, depending upon the scenario, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the other one that comes to mind is, we just got back from our July backpacking trip, and one of my buddies, we talk about like medieval armor, like he brings a medieval sword, like a 5 to 7 pound heavy sword backpacking that we also got at a garage sale.
Wow.
And yeah, and we had it outside. Like we camped out in an area that's known for bears, for
Oh,
bears getting your food. And so he had it just like shoved in the ground, like spiked into the ground. And I thought, if a bear comes, I'm going to get out of the tent. I'm grabbing the sword and I'm running it
yes.
out of camp. And then I kind of ran through different scenarios in my mind. And so, but you're right. Like if you're trying to fight off multiple things and it gets stuck, like
Yeah.
that's not good.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. There's, I
yeah,
mean, like the bat with spikes, all those things are
right,
not a great idea because they just would get stuck.
right.
So yeah, you want to have
Yeah, I have to think through
something
that.
that's,
So I just,
yeah.
so that's like to be continued, I guess.
Yeah.
I had also like currency or something to barter with. So
Love
that
that.
could, yeah,
That's
that,
in
I
my
mean, I don't
luxury
know.
items.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So I don't know if that could, if currency is even valuable, if cash is king in this scenario.
Okay.
Typically, people want to trade for gold or precious stones. Not that I have those things laying around, but if I did, then I'd bring those. um,
Would you really
so I don't know.
tell your audience if you had a bunch of precious gold and
I've got lots of gold. I've got
you got
it
lots of
in a
gold?
safe with the combination 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, I don't have any of that stuff. I'm a
Wait,
teacher,
hold
so I
on, let
don't
me
think
write
people
that
are
down.
like write
Two,
that down.
3, 4. Okay.
I don't think people are thinking like, dude, that guy's got it going on with the wealth as a teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Sure.
haven't confused people for that. But anyway, yeah, so I had that, and then I had like saw or axe just
Okay.
for
Yeah.
multi-purpose, whether it's like, shelter building, firewood, those types of things.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
So
your your axe could double as a weapon, right?
it could. You could have,
Yeah.
yeah, like knife in one hand, axe. It could like double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like that.
You
Yeah.
could
So you
do
got
that.
some good stuff. Yeah. So those
That's
are
a good
my
multi-purpose
5.
tool.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of jealous of the tree spikes. That's like my favorite one you had. That's a pretty cool one.
Tree spikes in the drone, man. I'm telling you.
Right. Right. Okay. So when we talk about luxury items for backpacking, a lot of people bring in like
Yeah.
extra thick sleeping pads and chairs
Sure.
and
Yeah.
pajama pants on our podcast and slippers and other weird things. But what would you bring? You got 2 luxury items. You got time to grab them before you
Okay.
go. What do you
Yeah.
got?
Okay. Well, the first one is going to be Twinkies. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's a well-known fact that the Twinkie is an apocalypse staple.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really good for bartering, for trading. So,
Okay.
they're going to have Twinkies.
Like how many are you
about
talking about here?
Oh, like as many as I can fit. Like I would
Okay.
probably have maybe like a 20-liter dry bag and just fill them with, just throw the
shove it
box
in there.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20-liter
Okay.
dry bag full of Twinkies for sure.
Okay.
How about
All
you?
right.
What's your first one?
First one. Let's see. I was thinking like ice cream or like a Stanley water bottle, but then I thought that's
Ooh.
not really helpful.
Okay.
I would have. Let's see. I even thought about like, we're gonna get bored out there. What if we bring a board game?
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna go with a mountain bike. So
Oh,
I feel like I could
that's
cover
smart.
a lot more distance and to barter more easily. But also, if the bartering's not going well, if you come into like a group of zombies, you can get away faster. So
That's true. Man, I didn't even think
yeah,
about that. That's brilliant.
yeah,
That's
thank
brilliant.
you. So mountain bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like an
Nobody's ever
e-bike
called me
even.
brilliant.
That's
I'll take that.
brilliant. It's true.
Okay. All right. What's your next
My
one?
second, you're going to laugh, okay? But it's super practical. Just hear me out. A pack goat. Okay?
Oh, ooh, okay.
Pack goat. So I would get a pack goat because, I mean, look, you have a lot of gear.
Mm-hmm.
You can strap that on the goat. You're not going to get tired. You can cover more ground. But also,
Right.
like, that goat can act as the sacrificial item if they come
Right.
and get you, right? They go on the
Right.
goat. Yeah, you can use that as
Yeah.
a decoy. Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't too far off with my last one.
Okay.
I'm bringing a dog. Bringing a
Oh,
dog
brilliant. Yeah.
because the dog is like your alarm system.
Yeah.
The dog is, at least my dog is like always a morale booster. And then
Totally.
yeah, I wouldn't want the dog to like run at the zombies. I'd have to keep the leash on at all times in case that
Yeah.
happened, and maybe train the
True.
dog to run away from zombies. I don't know how you do that, but I would try. And then The drawback about the goat and the dog is obviously like you got to find food for them as well. But I think it's worth it.
The goat can just browse. It can just browse wherever
That's
you're going.
true. The goat's better functionally that way. Yep. The dog, not so much. But okay,
a little tricky.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we got what to do when the zombies are coming. You got 5 hours. You got gear. You got skills. Do you have any like parting thoughts or words of wisdom? Last things.
Parting thoughts or words of wisdom. I would just say, going back to like learning how to forage, having a radio, maybe learning a little bit about radios, and keeping a bunch of snacks in the house. But like beyond that, just if you want to like kind of get into this as a hobby, kind of the survival type stuff as a hobby, like there's really great ways to kind of get going with that. Like get an SAS survival guide and just take one thing at a time. And when you go out camping, try that one thing. Like if it's a super hot day, like try making a solar still out of some, like some plastic.
Right.
If you have a Ziploc bag, try to make a transpiration bag by wrapping it around some leaves on a tree and sealing it off. See how much water you can collect. So like those are like little mini things that you can learn and practice that may or may not ever become practical to you in the future. But what it does is it builds your skills. It gives you something to do when you're out in the woods, and it's fun.
Right. And speaking of fun, I would probably choose the tree spikes and just try to climb trees the next time I go. I don't know how heavy they are for backpacking, but that'd be super fun.
Yeah, so, maybe. Oh, we could get on like a design of an ultralight tree spike just for that reason.
Yeah,
like titanium.
Titanium, maybe? Yeah. I'm gonna look them up. I want to see how heavy they are. I'll have to look them up after this show, but that's interesting.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, your words of wisdom, parting thoughts, better than mine. Mine was just, you know what? Just have fun with it. Just go out there and have fun with it.
For sure.
So just survive and have a good attitude and don't form a mob. So that's my thought. All right,
be a bad human. Yeah.
Don't be a bad human. There you go. Thanks for playing along with this scenario here. It's just like this is like a just for fun thing, but I actually learned quite a bit in the process. So anyway, I've got apocalypse trivia for you coming up.
Oh,
right after this. The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Rowan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie-cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, man. So as I mentioned, I just got back from my backpacking trip, and I just had a laundry list of punishments from, guest hosts or, trivia that I do with my typical co-host, Derek. And so it was too much. So I'm going to try to streamline the punishments here. So we got 3 questions, sort of. Like I've got one question's kind of long, but you get 2 out of 3 right, you pass. And if you pass, I'll send you one of your favorite freeze-dried meals, not from Mountain House, but from any company you want. Then
like
you
got refuel?
Yeah, like any flavor you want from that.
Sweet.
If you get less than 2 correct, then you've got to, like, you're a YouTuber, so you've got probably a pile of gear that companies are sending you. So just one piece of like reject gear you don't want anymore.
Love it. Yeah.
You up for that?
I can definitely do that. I'll send you a care package for sure.
Care package. Okay. Based on how it's going, it's probably me doing the sending because I don't think I've succeeded at trivia for a while, but I do have
the worst test anxiety. So
okay. Well, I think you'll be all right. I've got so there's 3 questions. One of them's long, and this is probably the hardest one because it's kind of long. The other 2, I feel like my wife passed this trivia, and you're more of an expert. So here we go.
If I fail, I am really, really bad here. Okay.
Then the test anxiety is a real thing. Then you're right about that. Okay. So the first one's a long one, and so I have different topics/categories that deal with this task. Name an apocalypse movie/TV show, or one that threatens an apocalypse for each of the following scenarios. And so I've just got a list of what I have, like
okay.
5 scenarios. You got to come up with a TV show or movie. And you can't reuse them. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
All right, here we go. First one, natural disaster.
Natural disaster.
Yeah.
There's the one about the like polar vortex. It's like
Okay.
15, 20 years ago. What is the name of it? Where there's
Polar
like
vortex.
this like insane polar vortex that freezes the whole country, and it's like 60 below zero, and people are burning books and stuff to stay warm. Can't remember the name of it.
Okay, I'll give you a hint on this
like,
one.
Yeah, The Day After Tomorrow. Is that it?
Day After Tomorrow. That's it. That's correct. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
My hint was going to be that it could involve like an asteroid could be a natural disaster technically, right? So
that's true.
Yeah. Deep Impact, Armageddon, that kind of stuff.
Oh, Armageddon, such a good movie.
So accurate.
Such a good movie.
All right.
Yep, so accurate.
Next, we have aliens are they kind of just want to take over the world. So they're threatening an apocalypse.
Is this my favorite movie in that genre?
No, just any
movie. Yeah. District
we'll take
9.
Your favorite.
District 9.
Okay.
Yeah. That was such a strange movie, and how it was presented and everything. It just stuck with me, got in my head. Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw that one. District 9. Okay. Then there's, of course, Independence Day, War of the Worlds, that stuff.
So good. Yeah.
We got to go with zombies, man. I mean, I know this is like a gimme since we've been talking about it, but what's your favorite zombie one? How about that?
Hands down, Zombieland. Okay.
Zombieland.
Okay. It's Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So good. So
I've not seen that one.
It's like a comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's comedy.
It's a comedy apocalypse.
It is, and that's where Woody Harrelson, like, all he wants is a Twinkie. Like he keeps searching and searching and searching for a Twinkie, and finally he finds a Twinkie. And I won't ruin the punchline for you, but yeah, that's
something happens.
A great classic movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
that's funny. Okay, yeah. So and then you already mentioned I Am Legend, World War Z. Those would kind of fit that. So like nuclear war or war between like world war or like governments are crumbling or have crumbled.
Governments are crumbling. I would say I would say World War Z, because the zombie outbreak just cripples the entire world. And you get to see Brad Pitt as he goes throughout the world traveling. You get to see how from a broad perspective how that's happening, the fall of humanity. Yeah. Epic.
That's a stretch because that's also zombies, but I'll give it to you. You didn't use that one, so I can technically give it to you. The one that came to mind for me was The Postman with Kevin Costner.
Oh, wow.
I forget why the governments weren't. Yeah, I forget why they weren't working, but they weren't. He was a fake postal worker.
Okay.
Last one for number one. This is a long one. I warned you. Is Virus.
Virus.
Yeah.
Andromeda Strain.
Okay.
Andromeda Strain. Yeah. Michael Crichton. That's a really good book and turned into a almost good enough movie based on the book. Yeah.
And that's different than the movie Outbreak, right? That's a different scenario.
It's different, but the same. Yeah. Or even Contagion, the movie Contagion. It follows the same plot line, like, kind of an Ebola like viral outbreak.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Comes from a vector from like a monkey or something. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that to say, you got number one right. That was a long one.
Fantastic.
Well done. Okay, you just got to get one more. This apocalypse movie was about extreme global warming. Soil became a hot commodity. Can you name the movie?
Soil?
Yeah.
Wow. Waterworld.
That is correct.
That's right.
Wow. That's correct.
I was thinking it can't be Waterworld. Oh wait, yeah, it is.
Yeah. They're all about. All right, you passed trivia. You got it, man.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Last one just for fun. Which of the following is not an item in government recommended go bags? I found 2 separate governments that were like, here's what you should have in a go bag or survival kit, but like specific to go bags. So this one's multiple choice. Which one's not typically in there? A, water, B, lighting, C, radio, D, gold, or E, identification.
Wow, the gold and the identification are throwing me there, big time. I would say gold.
Okay, that is correct. Gold,
Is it
man.
really? Oh wow,
Killed it. 3 for 3. Yeah, they all recommend having passports or some sort of ID with you. So
wow,
yeah.
that's crazy.
All right. You have proven yourself to be an expert in the area of survival, apocalypses, tools, tree climbing, radios, all that stuff. So all right, man. So tell us about so your name is Gordon, but you go by Grim Granite on YouTube channel. So what have you got going on? What do you got coming up? Tell us all about it.
Awesome. So yeah, I run a YouTube channel that teaches wilderness skills and hopefully gives people confidence to take their next step in nature. And I love people that are just getting into the hobby, just getting into camping. And I want to give them everything they need resource wise, or at least the next thing they need to help get them out there. So that's what Grim Granite's all about. I do a lot of comedy sketches on there. I do some survival training. I do some product reviews. It's kind of like a variety show. It's been a lot of fun with that channel, and I've just started a second channel called Excursions with Grim, and it is a long form camping content channel. So I'm going to be posting my adventures and my camping trips up on that channel, and would love to see you over there.
Yeah, and high quality stuff. He's a storyteller. We had, I don't know, I feel like we had extensive conversations when we met, and I was like, man, you really know what you're doing. And I've been checking out your channel ever since. And so, yeah, super impressed with all your stuff. It is worth the time to check out Grim Granite. We'll have the links. We'll have links for both channels actually in our show description, so you can just click right on there.
Amazing.
Yeah. Do you know which peak refuel you want me to send you?
Oh, there's one. I have a dairy intolerance, so but basically anything without dairy in it's good for me. I love all their stuff for the most part. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sure.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Coming your way, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Good deal. So, Gordon, man, thank you so much for taking the time to join the show and talk apocalypse here. This was a lot of fun for me, and yeah, an honor to have you on the show, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless.